You are listening to the Two Writers Walk into a Bar podcast. In every episode, our goal is to help, inspire, and celebrate authors' journey to publication by reading and critiquing query letters, then tackle a writing topic we hope you find helpful. Welcome back to Two Writers Walk into a Bar. Hey, Ken.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going all right.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Do
You?
you have a good week?
Yeah, it was up and down.
It
Missed a
was
little
up
bit
and
of sleep.
down.
Missed a little bit of sleep a couple of the nights, and that
Oh,
always
like,
affects everything.
oh, yeah. Do you use anything for sleeping?
No?
No, I take magnesium glycinate, and I will tell you, it's done wonders.
Yeah,
I get good sleep, but I don't wake up feeling weird. But yeah,
nice. I'm
yeah,
just a night owl, so basically when it comes to the time where I gotta get up at 5 in the morning those couple of days during my work week, I struggle to get
you're
to bed.
struggling. Yeah,
Because I have to be to bed by 9 to get 8 hours, 9 p.m. and
yeah,
my normal schedule's like 1, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. I know. I stay up late, and then I'm up at like 7 in the morning. But I don't go to work till sometimes 2 in the afternoon, 2:30.
oh wow.
So that morning, my mornings are spent writing.
Oh,
That's
hell
my
yeah.
writing time. Yeah.
Did you
But
get any
anyway,
writing done?
I did. I
Did
did.
you?
But first, what are you
Oh.
drinking?
Oh, just the old classic,
Oh,
Moab the
same.
Grand. Yeah,
I'm having my same beer, my same Michelob Ultra. I
yeah.
I needed it today, guys. It's so hot over here today. I have all the fans going. It's hot. I was sweating. It's gross.
I was freezing my
So,
cojones off. How dare you?
oh my god, we had 2 earthquakes already. Oh, I got a new light. Did you see that? I don't know if you can
Nice.
see it. It says bar,
I
the
see it.
beer.
Yeah, yeah. It's got a mug. I like it.
Yep, I got us a new light. So if you're watching on YouTube, I used to, or if you're not watching on YouTube, if you're listening, I used to have a little ghost light behind me, but I bought a bar. It says bar, and it's got a nice frothy little beer back there. So
And I'm no longer on the couch. I'm on a chair.
nice.
I
Okay, we're
upgraded. But
stepping it up. All right.
but the backdrop, my messy closet, not so good.
It's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you go out last night? Because last night was St. Patrick's Day. Do you celebrate? Do you do anything?
Normally I make corned beef and cabbage.
Same. Yeah.
But no, I worked 13 hours yesterday. I didn't do
Oh,
shit.
shit. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah.
I usually request it off, so I had it off, and I went drinking with my nieces, her fiance, my son, who was supposed to be my
Nice.
designated driver, and then ended up getting drunk, so then I had to drive. I was
It
like
happens.
I was like, "Oh, thanks a lot. Nice to know I can count on you, dude."
Yeah, exactly.
But
That sucks, but
it was fun. We went to we went to a British pub and for St. Patrick's Day, and then they had a bagpipe, and I was like, "But isn't that Scottish? Is that also Irish?"
it's close enough, right?
I mean, they're like 2 different countries. So I was sitting there and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Is anyone asking this?" Or like everybody's just drunk and they're like, "Oh, it's a bagpipes." And I'm like, "But this is an Irish holiday."
They're like the islands are close to touching, you know?
I suppose, whatever. It was funny though, but it was like, my niece's fiance was like, "Oh my god," he's like, "You're right." It's like, "That's so
Yeah,
weird."
it is
But it was
weird.
fun. I had a good time, so I had me some green beer and, I tried a Jaeger bomb for the first time.
I love Jaeger bombs. They're
I've
good.
never had it. Again, niece's, fiance was like ordered one. He's like, "You ever had this?" And I was like, "No, I've never
Yeah,
had
for
it."
real.
Oh my god, I've never had it. It was so good. He's like, "Do you like
I
black
know.
licorice?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like black licorice."
Yeah.
It was
I
pretty
love Jaeger
good.
bombs.
Oh my god. I'm glad I didn't get it though because I ended up having to drive. So, if I
Oh,
would've had one
yeah.
of those, I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm not really a lightweight, but I feel like that probably would have been, like, a lot. I don't know.
The Red Bull counteracts a tiny bit,
Yes.
but yes.
Hey, it was pretty good. I told him, like, "Dude, next time if I have a designated driver, I'm definitely gonna try that because that tasted really good."
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
I just had green beer, but anyway. So, happy, St. Patrick's Day,
Yep.
even though it's the day after, whatever.
Whatevs.
Alright, so, how was your writing week? Tell me what you did today this week.
Uh, I did okay. I think I went from 54,000 to 56,500.
Okay.
So I
Nice.
got 2,500 this week, which is terrible for me. I usually do at least 1,000 a day.
You know what? Sometimes we just have those weeks. It's okay. I
Yeah,
mean, it happens, whatever.
it does. Yeah, I just got to get back into that 1,000 a day, 7,000 a week. But it
Yeah,
is what
I
it is.
I I'm shooting for that too. I did okay. I finally, I think I've had a breakthrough. So I'm at 30. Where am I at? So I think the last time it was like 34,000.
Hmm.
So I'm at almost 38,000. So I'm
Nice.
almost to 38,000. Yeah, I had a little bit of a breakthrough. Funny story. So I have my daughter is 17, and obviously she's like the age range. This is like right for young adults. She's
Yeah.
like my reader, right? So I was stuck on this story, you guys, and I don't know if if you're stuck on your story. If you're listening, you're like, I'm stuck too, whatever. And I don't normally send my stuff to a beta reader. I typically just send it to Ken and like one other critique partner. I don't usually send it to a beta reader, but sometimes I will use my daughter as a beta reader. And because I was so stuck with this story, I had her read the first chapter. And I said, I want you to read the first chapter. And I just want to tell you the first thing that pops out at you. Okay. That I said, don't be afraid. You're not going to hurt my feelings. In
Yeah.
fact, you're going to hurt my feelings if you say it's perfect because I know it's not. I
Yeah.
need you to be honest. Okay. I'm like, I really need. She's like, okay. So, and my daughter and I have a really good relationship. So, she knew it was cool. Well, so she read it. And so she was finished. I was like, eagerly, like, oh, tell me, tell me. She's like, she was like, well, she doesn't really have a personality. And she kind of reads like a sociopath. It's
Ah,
like,
oh shit.
oh, fuck. I was like, are you yeah, she's like, "Because she doesn't really have a personality." She's like, "I don't know." And I was like, and she was right. She was dead on because as soon as she told me that, it was like the light bulb just went off. And I was like, "Oh, no wonder." Like, I don't know this character enough, obviously,
Yeah.
and she was coming off way too flat and weird, and so I had to completely change her. But I can go into that a little bit more later,
For
because
sure.
we do have a query that we're going to critique, and I want to get into that a little bit more because I know that we have been talking about, if you've been listening for the past few episodes, about getting to know our characters. So I'm kind of excited that I had a little bit of a breakthrough. But
Hell yeah.
we do have a query, and it was sent to us by, her name is Kimberly Dawn. And she did not share with me, unfortunately, where we can find her on social media. And I think she found me on Facebook because I have a couple of ads that I'm putting out there. Or I'm not sure. But anyway, so we're gonna go into that. So I'll just jump right into it. Okay. Dear Agent, the end of the war was just the beginning of the carnage. The defeated rebels' war crimes and experiments produced deadly creatures that even decades later, the country of Westmia is still struggling to eradicate. Ryan Stavros hunts the ones that survived. Ryan is sent to Watergale, excuse me, a picturesque town that has been nearly decimated by deadly creatures lurking outside in the neighboring forest. She must work with the locals, including a dark and secretive man named Carson, to find a way to stop the attacks. But in Watergale, nothing is as it seems. As it seems, Ryan must fight not only against her own demons and the insatiable creatures, but also against the very people she was sent there to protect. The people of Watergale and the secrets they would kill to bury just might be more dangerous than the creatures hunting her. Redacted is a 95,000 word adult fantasy novel. I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and this is my debut novel. Thank you for your time and consideration, Kimberly Dawn. Okay, so this query comes in at 177 words. So that's a little short. Kimberly, if you're listening, well, I'm sure you are. You have a lot of room here to add to this, and you should. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is your hook. The very first paragraph, I'm guessing, is your hook, but I would make it a little more punchier, and maybe condense it a little bit. So if you get it to 1 to 2 sentences, would be best. I mean, it's good that you're starting off with that hook. I think it's great. I would just make it a little punchier. It's just a little wordy, and and it just make it a little bit more. What's the term I'm looking for? I'm so sorry, you guys. My brain is like just make
Condensed.
a little bit, yes, condensed and clear. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then what I did notice that you are missing in your query is you don't tell us what Ryan Stavros, your main character, wants. Um we need to know what Ryan wants. We know that she, I'm guessing she is,
Yeah.
yeah, she is sent, she's being like sent on to this project, whatever. But what does she want? Is there something that she wants? And then, of course, we need to know what is getting in the way of what she wants. And then we also need to know what her emotional wound is that she needs to overcome. And that should be towards the end. So we need to know what's her problem. What is it that what's that inner demon that she's dealing with that she has to overcome, and that this plot is obviously going to help her do that. So that's, I feel, is missing, because you do say your last paragraph is Ryan must fight not only against her own demons. Well, what are those? What are her demons? Is she, I don't know, is she like an alcoholic? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something that she has to overcome. And I would just spell that out for the agent. Like, don't leave them guessing. Spell it out. What is it that she has to deal with? So I know it's there. You just need to just spell it out, basically. Just be obvious what it is that she has to overcome as she's going through this town. um, you didn't give any comps, which I suppose is okay. We did learn that sometimes agents say it's fine if you don't have any comps, but if you know something that you can comp it to, would also be great, because again, that's just helps the agent understand where your book would fit on the shelf in stores. Um, Let me see what else. Um, I think that's it. Ken, did you want to add anything?
No, a couple things, I guess. I agree with what you said about the first lines where it needs to
Mhm,
be a little more punchy. It seems a little too wordy. And
yeah.
then in the second paragraph, there was a spot where she said Carson is a dark and secretive man.
Mhm,
I feel like that's a little too wordy too. You could even drop that down to enigmatic or to object. It just popped out at me, and it
mhm,
may be nothing. It may be nothing, but my writer brain said dark and secretive, and like you know, it just jumped out at me. And I think that's something you could change to enigmatic or another term that encompasses that. I
mhm.
think it would read better in that second line.
And I
And
think you
then
could even elaborate, probably, like, what is he, like a councilman, a leader? Is he the mayor of this town? Is he someone that the townspeople listen to? Something, I know it's secretive, but I mean, we can guess. I mean, it's fine. He has secrets, but also, does he have a title in this world?
does he like live out in the woods? Is he a hermit in the woods? Is he
Something, yeah.
like just add a little bit there? So there's a
Hmm.
little bit of leeway there to add on to it for sure.
Yes.
A little
So,
bit, not too
mhm.
much for sure.
Yeah. But your query is 177 words, and you can go up to 350 to 400 if you wanted to. You could elaborate a little more, and I think that you should. I feel like you should answer the questions. What does Ryan want? What's getting in the way of what she wants? Is it Carson? Is Carson getting in the way of what she wants? And then how so? What are the stakes? And then, of course, what's that emotional wound? You say her personal demon and then spell that out. So I think you have some good bones here, some good working material. You just need to elaborate a little bit, make that hook a little punchier, a little bit more concise, and then a description, just a little bit more, like I said, detail about your character. Because remember that the agent wants to read the story for your character, and then also that little bit of mystery, which you do have. You do have a little bit of mystery, the secrets that this town has. So that's good. And then Kimberly sent us her first pages, or her, let me see.
And one more thing to
And
add, I thought it sounded cool as
oh,
fuck, by the way, Kimberly. I thought it was cool as
yes.
it sounded cool as fuck.
Yes, the story sounds
It
really
does.
good. Yes.
It does. It was cool as
Yes.
fuck. I was like, I could have, if I was an agent, I might have just ignored that stuff, but others might not have. But I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. I
Yeah.
like it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really good. Your premise sounds really cool. I love the idea of these rebels, which, okay, so in her first few pages, your character, there was one thing that popped out at me. You start your story with dialogue right away. So a lot of agents don't really like that. And the reason why they say they don't like that is because we don't know your character yet. So we haven't gotten to know your character. So there's this conversation happening, and we don't know enough about your character to read it in their voice. Although it is voicey, because you start off the story where she's on the train, she's trying to do work, and the waiter's like trying to hit on her, and he's trying to flirt with her or whatever, and she's getting super annoyed because she's like, obviously I'm working, leave me alone, dude, whatever. And she's on the train. But I would maybe start off with just a little bit of interiority about your character so that we know a little bit about her, and then you could have like the waiter like come up to her and ask if there's anything else she needs. She needs more water or whatever. And then she can go into like, he's been here like 3 times, and like, less than, I forget, I think it's like 30 minutes or something you say. So that was the only thing that I caught right away. I don't, and it doesn't have to be like a long, lengthy thing. It's just a little bit enough of us to understand uh, who your character is. Um, the other thing too, and I love the writing was fantastic. I mean, it was really engaging. There was I loved her voice. I love the character's voice. She is very, very sassy. She's just very like your typical detective, I guess. I guess you could call it. The only thing is there was just, I don't know if it's just me or Ken might have a different perspective on this, but you go into a lot of the back story, and I know that you're setting up the letting us know about this world that you've created about these two people, the Crichtons, I think it's the Crichtons, and the rebels. Um, and you kind of go into that sort of history and stuff. I just wonder if, and this could just be like my own thing again, if maybe you can sprinkle that information as the story goes, like maybe when she arrives there she's thinking about the rebels or whatever, so that we're not getting all that chunk of information, or maybe even sprinkle it in with the conversation that she's having with the waiter in some way, because it just was kind of like a big chunk of just backstory of history that we're kind of getting. I like the
Info
way that
dump.
you, yeah, info dump. I like the way you did it, how it's the brochure that's in this packet. I mean, it was a very smooth way that you did it. I just wonder if it's
There's
just,
a more
I don't know.
organic way to
It's,
get this information to the
yes.
reader
Yeah.
instead of
I mean,
using a
it's
plot
good.
device.
So yeah, so I mean, however way you want. If your beta readers were fine with it, that's fine. I mean, I liked that it gave us some of the information we needed to know about the world, but it definitely felt a little info dumpy. But that, again, that's just my opinion. So take that what you will. I did, however, loved the ending, because I definitely wonder if it definitely felt like the Capitol in the Hunger Games, where maybe the rebels weren't as evil as the Crichtons are saying, because it's definitely giving that vibe. So I will say, and you have that last line that you had sent us, something like, oh, where is it at? I have to find it. Um, let me see. I have to find it. I'm so sorry. Um,
No worries.
it really just paved the way for the Westeros party to rule without question. After all, the alternative ruling power would have been so much worse. I love that because I definitely feel like you were setting something up where maybe the rebels weren't as evil as this other party is making it sound like. So I love that. I loved that. So it definitely felt like it was very felt like very Hunger Games like capital vibes. So I love that. But other than that, I mean, honestly, the writing was fantastic. The voice was like right, just amazing. Just I would go back a little bit in the beginning. Let us get to know a little bit of Ryan before the waiter comes to her in the train. And I love the whole idea of her riding a train in this new world. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Ken, did you have any? Did you have any notes?
I don't really have any notes on it. You touched on everything I was really thinking of. Um, the info dump was the one that jumped out at me the most out of everything.
And I
Um, it
think,
it's brilliant how it was executed. I love how,
mhm,
but it's still, it'd be much more organic for her to like maybe have some interiority about the rebels. Like look, maybe she could see the
yeah,
brochure and be like, "Fuck, you damn rebel," whatever,
yeah.
something along those lines. But if it works, maybe
Well,
you get away with it.
yes. But here's an idea too, Kimberly. I know that a lot of agents, and if you read, excuse me, debut books right now, you'll notice that the curiosity seeds, if you will, you could actually use that instead of an info dump. You could actually use some of that stuff and make it curious for the reader to want to keep reading. Like maybe don't give us all that history of the rebels and let us like slowly find out. Let the reader like ask questions like, well, why are there animals? Why were
Yeah,
there experiments? Stuff like that. So instead of just telling us everything up front, keep it curious for us. Keep it curious
yeah,
so that we want to keep reading and keep turning that page. And that is going to help the agent to want to ask for a full request because they're going to want to know why. They're going to know
yes,
why are these things in this world happened. So
w-
that's another idea. Again, you can leave it the way you have it if you want.
yeah.
I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Well,
It's
you just
just
have
like,
to cookie crumb us through the forest.
yes.
Give us little pieces of cookie. Because if you give me a whole vat of cookie dough, I'm going to eat the whole thing and pass out and not get through your book.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I think just breaking that up and leaving things a little curious for the reader so they keep turning the page would probably be better than an
Yeah,
info dump. And if
agreed.
anyone's listening, hopefully I'm gonna say if you're thinking about your manuscript and you have an info dump on like the history of your world building, keep in mind don't throw all of that at us at once. Just sprinkle it along. Let us follow your trail. So let us keep us going. So, but other than that, Kimberly, thank you so much for sending us your query and your first pages. We
And
appreciate
shout
you.
out Colorado Springs. I grew up in Colorado Springs, so
Oh my God, you and my husband.
I spent
That's
many days at
hilarious.
Acacia Park in downtown Colorado Springs.
Oh my God, it's too funny.
Yeah, so
Okay. Well, anyways, Kimberly, thank you so much. If you want to revise, please feel free to email us again. We don't have to read it on air. We can just do it privately through email, but you're more than welcome to send us a revised copy and we can go through it again for you.
hell yeah,
And as always, we wish you the best. And your story was kick ass. And I hope it gets picked up and I hope we get to see it someday on the shelf because it sounds really cool.
agreed.
Yes. Hey, writer friends. Querying is hard, and putting together a query letter is even harder. We want to help. Send us your query letter and first three pages to our email at twowritersinabar@gmail.com. And we'll read your query on air and give feedback on your first pages. And don't forget to tell us where we can find you on social media so we can share it with all our listeners. We want to help, inspire, and celebrate with you on your writing journey. So, Ken, I forgot to ask you, what are you reading?
Right now, a bunch of
Yeah.
shit.
Okay.
So,
Well, what is it?
I'm on audiobook. I'm listening to Insomnia by Stephen King, which is amazing, and I'm loving the hell out of that.
Okay.
I'm
Uh-huh.
halfway through Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynn on my phone.
When did that book come out? Okay.
2021. and then I
Oh,
am
okay.
halfway through The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, which is the first book in the
Dang.
Dandelion yeah.
How do you keep track of all these stories? Like, I'll maybe read 2, but
I do like there are different times that I use them. Like when I'm at work and I have to be in out in front of public, then it's on my phone and I'm just reading John Gwynne, Shadow of the Gods, and then
okay.
uh, when I have free time at home or when I'm in the back office when it's the weekends, I read a real book, or not a real book, but a physical book, and then
Yeah.
when I'm
Mhm.
driving to work and I'm doing my rounds, I listen to Insomnia by Stephen King.
Oh, alright. Whatever, it works, right? It
Yeah,
makes sense.
just consuming. Yeah,
I wish I could do that at work, but it's impossible, but well, I am
sneak an
reading
earbud in.
we're not allowed. We're
How
not
dare they?
allowed.
How
Yes, because
dare they?
there were people that were doing and they're like, "You guys can't wear earbuds." I'm like, "Well, whatever." But
Yeah,
I am reading, The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. Um,
nice.
this is my first book of hers that I'm reading, and holy shit. It's really it's so good. And I will tell you what, so my current manuscript that I was talking about earlier is a ghost story about ghosts.
Yeah,
And this one is too. So and I didn't realize that it was like a ghost story when I picked it up. So
yeah,
it's actually kind of helping me sort of set the mood for my own book
nice.
by the way that she has her ghosts, like, interacting and stuff, and I'm just like,
That's
"Oh,
awesome.
okay. I can see, like, what I could do in my book,"
Yeah,
right?
inspiration is wonderful.
Yes, yes, and, sometimes I love I don't know if that's ever happened to you, where if you picked up a book and I mean, I read it because it's a mystery book, and my book is a little bit mystery as well. I
Yeah.
had no idea, though, that there was, like, paranormal stuff in here.
Oh,
So, it
cool.
was a really nice surprise,
Yeah,
and it kind of worked out for me.
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's ever happened to you or you picked up a book that you're like, "Oh, wait, this is like this is inspiring for my own story."
No, like I reread The Dark Tower every year. I read all
Uh-huh.
7 books.
Yep.
Well, now there's 8 with The Wind Through the Keyhole, but I'll read through 'em and that's what inspired Felina, but it wasn't my first read through. Just, you know, something
And
about
for
yeah.
well, Felina, you got some good news with Felina,
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's huge news, yeah. Well, big
Yes.
news. It's not huge news, big news, but yeah, I got a request from an agent, so
Yes. This
for
is your
my
first one,
Felina
right?
Reyes, 2nd.
Ah, okay.
I got one
Alright.
for 441 South.
No, I meant for Felina, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, that's my first request, from an agent for Felina, yeah,
Yes, and we're
so I'm
just out
excited.
here crossing our fingers for you, Ken. We're
I
crossing
know,
our fingers.
right?
If you're listening, cross your fingers for Ken.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so it's really cool, and it's I feel like it's a great agency. So I'm so excited when you sent me that text. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was at work, but I was like trying to like answer.
I know,
I was like,
I
"Oh
know,
my
I was like,
god!"
I needed a
Very cool.
request. Yeah, it was
Yes,
due.
I'm
I
glad.
needed
I'm
it, I
so
felt like I
glad.
needed it. Yeah, me
Yes.
too.
So fingers crossed for you, friend. I hope that she, we'll see what happens.
Yes,
Maybe we
yeah,
might have an announcement. I don't know.
maybe, that'd be
Maybe.
sweet. We'll
Hey,
see.
you know what?
Yeah,
It could happen. So.
it could.
But, anyway, so yeah, going back to my story. So thankfully my daughter helped me point out the flaws of my story. And so I went back and I was actually able to figure out my character's emotional wound because I didn't have that.
Mm,
Um, I didn't have that in my story at first. So I understood what my daughter was like. She sounded like a sociopath. I don't know if you guys remember, I've told you that my character lies. And so, but without the emotional wound, yeah, she was just coming across as a weirdo.
yeah,
So when I went back and read it, I was like, with that sort of mindset, I was like, "Oh my god, yes." So I had to kind of go back and sort of dig deep. But I actually wrote a scene that I was like that I could use for her emotional wound. I didn't even realize that I added, and I was like, "Oh, I can build up on this, whatever."
oh, cool.
Yeah, so I had a little bit of breakthrough on that, and that emotional wound is helping me, I think. I haven't had her read my I'm still kind of cleaning it up, but, I have a better understanding now of like, we've been talking about characters and stuff like that. And so I feel like hopefully this character will connect a little better with my readers.
Yeah.
And also my old theme that I had for that, the before I changed it, my
Mhm.
daughter told me, she's like, "If that's your theme," she's like, "It's kinda lame." I was like,
That's
"Okay."
hilarious.
I was like, "Okay." I'm like, so when I reworked her emotional wound, and then I told her that I changed the theme, and I told her what I was gonna change it to, she was like, "Oh my god, it's so much better." I said, "Do you
Yeah.
relate to that as a 17-year-old?" She goes, "Yes." She was like, "Yes,
Sweet.
I definitely relate to it." She was like, "Oh, wow." She was like, "Yeah, that's so much better."
That's cool.
So
That's so you're lucky to have her there to help you with that,
I
you know?
swear, this kid is teaching me many, many things.
Hell yeah.
Who would
Hell
have
yeah.
thought that would have been like for writing? But my daughter has I'm speaking this now, and I've always tell her this. She laughs, but I think she's a natural born writer.
Mm,
She's an artist, and this is actually one of her pictures right here. This
nice.
skeleton, she drew that. And it's little tiny dots.
That's awesome.
It's just all dots, and
Yeah.
it's amazing, I love it, but she creates characters, and she'll tell me, "Oh, this is my MC," and she draws them out and tells me their backstory, their history, who they're dating, what they love, like, she has a clear understanding of characters, and
Yeah.
so I'm trying to, like, help her, like, put those into a story,
Hell
and
yeah.
so kinda like when we were talking about this, she's like, "Mom, you're literally making me wanna write." And I was
That's
like, "Yes."
awesome.
I'm like, "You are a writer." I'm like, "I don't think you understand this." I'm like, "But you are a writer. You're already creating characters. You're
Yeah.
also an artist." I'm like, "You are an artist, but you're, you're creating stories. You're creating backstories for characters and stuff." So I think that's why she caught on that my character didn't have any of those things, because I think
Yeah.
in her mind, she was like, "Well, if this was my character, I would have given her this, this, and this, and this, or I would have known
Yeah.
about this." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
For sure. That's awesome.
S So I had a major breakthrough. Of course, I did have to go back and clean up a lot and fix some stuff, but I'm finally moving forward now. I'm finally got
That's
to the
awesome.
point where I can now just move on with this move forward,
Yeah.
and, so I'm doing that now.
Nice.
So, of course, the writing sucks, you guys, it's first draft, but
Oh, yeah, mine's first draft too, and mine sucks.
yours doesn't suck. Your first draft does not suck, Ken. I don't know what you're talking about.
I read some of the dialogue and cringed today. I'm like, "Oh, why did I write that?"
No, but I hear you in my mind all the time, like, tell me the setting, tell me, describe stuff to me because it sometimes can be white wall
Yeah.
or white room, excuse me,
Yeah.
with my stories. I have that little problem.
Yeah, the tendency sometimes, yeah. No, I
Yeah,
don't
whereas
know. Mine needs a lot of work editing, I think, to make it right, you know?
I think you well, I did critique 2 of your, chapters today. I don't know if you got a chance to see
Yeah,
that,
I
but
saw that, yeah.
yeah, so, to me, you just needed more interiority in those characters, especially with the
Yeah.
new character that we just
Yeah.
got into his
Well,
head. I was, like, looking forward to that.
yeah. I
But I
like
know
the
it's your first
but
draft.
yeah, it is first draft totally, and yeah. I add a lot of that shit later. I'm weird when I edit, I kind of flesh out everything.
No, I don't think that's weird at all, actually. I think a lot of people
No?
do that.
Oh,
I try to get as much done in my first draft. That's why it takes me so long with my first draft. I try to get, as, like, clean as possible so that when I
yeah.
go back and do an edit, I don't have to do as much, but it
Fair
does
enough.
take me longer.
Yeah.
Either way, it
Where
comes out to the same, I think, honestly, I think it comes out the same.
I could whereas I can whip out a first draft in, like, 80 days or some
That's
shit.
crazy. That's
Yeah, but
nuts,
then I
but
spend the next 2 or 3 months I
yeah.
spend the next 2 or 3 months editing
Yeah. Yeah, so
to
it's kinda
make
like
it
the
right.
same. Yeah, it kind of
Yeah,
comes out to that. That's what I was thinking, like, it comes out to the same. By the time I
every 6
finish this
months.
thing and edit it, whatever, yeah, so I do, like, try to add as much, and like I said, I hear your voice in my head all the time. Like, I wrote a scene, I went to go pick up my kids from school, and I came back and read it, and I was like, "Oh god, I need to add this, and this. I forgot this, 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 and this."
Yes. That's
And
what
then I
I'll
just
do
did it.
after. Yeah,
Yeah, so I
exactly.
just did it, yeah, and
Well,
so
I'm
I
glad that I'm there because even my metaphysical self is like, "You gotta do this."
'cause I know as soon as I send you the chat, you're gonna be like, "Put me in the scene.
Yeah,
What's happening? Where am I at? Where's the trees? Where's the stuff?" I'm like, "Okay."
exactly. Yeah. Where are we?
No, but yeah, where are we at? Sounds like we're in a white room. I know
Yeah.
I've done that. I even actually had a book, the last book, where they actually did end up in a white room.
Oh, jeez.
Because I just was like, it was the easiest thing for me because it was the dialogue that was the plot was moving in the dialogue, and I just didn't even need a setting. I just needed a literal white room. I don't even
Yeah.
know if you caught that. Every time that they would go back, they ended up in a white room.
In the white hallway. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
caught it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it made it easy for me because the dialogue that was happening and the emotions and the feelings of the characters was like whatever.
It
But
took
yeah.
me a second to catch what boat you're talking about, the last one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I remember going." They'd always go back in the white hallway. That was so easy, perfect.
Yes. I'm sorry, but I just
Oh,
really
you're good.
wanted to because of everything that happened, I just really wanted to focus on the characters and the art because they were all growing together, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I did send that story to Rev Pit. I don't know if you guys know of the contest, Rev Pit contest. I think we talked
Oh,
about it last time,
we
Ken.
did, I forgot
Did
about
you
it.
Oh, no. Oh, shoot, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
well.
I should have texted you. I thought for sure because 'cause you're like, I entered last year."
I'm so weird,
Yeah,
so
I
scatterbrained.
oh, damn, okay. Oh, shoot. Damn, I should
That's
text you.
okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's not your
I
fault.
I sent
It's
it
my
yeah, I
dumbass.
sent that story in. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
that's
Well,
okay.
yeah, so I sent that one in. I don't know. I don't know if I'll get picked. I mean, there's so many people that enter that contest, so whatever. But you know
Yeah.
what? Shoot your shot, right? Gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah,
I have had 2 full requests and they were declined, so I'm like, "Something's not working," and I can't afford
yeah,
to hire an editor, so I'm like, it'd be great if I get picked up, but
yeah, for real,
but whatever. It's
for
fine.
real.
Everything's fine. The world is on fire. Everything's
But could you imagine if Felina got picked up? Woo! I
Oh,
love
that would be
Felina.
fantastic. I think it would
Oh
be
my god, I
great.
love
I think it would
Felina.
be amazing.
She's my
Yes.
favorite
I
character I've
I've
written
got my
to date.
thing.
Her and Izzy,
So,
like, the
Felina,
2 main characters.
do you wanna tell them? Yeah. Do you wanna tell them the genre of that story? Just the
Oh, it's
genre,
like
'cause it's so unique.
western fantasy, maybe a little sci-fi. No, there's not really, maybe a little sci-fi. So,
It's
western
really cool.
fantasy would be my guess.
Western fantasy, which I freaking
Yeah,
love. And it's
yeah,
not done very often. It needs to be you nailed it. But of
thank you.
course, I'm your critique partner. I love everything you do, but still, I mean, obviously
Yeah,
someone else did too, so I'm not alone.
I love Felina, like, she's so cool. Her and Izzy, the side character, like, oh,
Yes.
I
Mhm.
love those
Yes,
characters more
yeah.
than anything else I've written to
Well,
date.
I've got my fingers and toes crossed for you, bro. I hope it gets picked
Oh,
up because it would
yeah,
be great. It'd be
I would love
fantastic.
to.
Yes.
Let's be honest, it's not, but that's okay.
No, don't say
I
that. Oh my god, you kill me with that.
already
Don't do
know
that.
it's not getting look, this is how I roll. I already know it's not getting picked up, so I'm gonna
Well,
focus
this
on this new book.
just okay. Well, you know what? I mean, I feel that too.
Yeah,
I said the same thing, and I just, you just move on to the next project, whatever. We have to move on to another project anyway,
yeah.
so might as well just move on. It's like whatever.
Well, Felina's my
That's
baby,
just the
but
way it is. It'll get there. It's gonna get there, I
I
think.
see more than a trilogy. I already have the prequel written, like, when she's 12
Oh
going through
wow. Okay.
Awak
Uh-huh.
training.
Hmm.
Like, I love her.
Nice.
And if you remember,
Okay.
there's a
Well,
certain access to different parts of worlds too in that book. Um, it she could go
I
anywhere.
think so.
She could go
Yeah.
any genre, she could go
Well,
any fucking where.
the thing about that too is like even if it's not the book that gets you published, you could always go back and publish it even when your agent hadn't published before.
Yeah,
Because sometimes, your agent that maybe that particular agent would be interested in it. So you never know. You never know.
Yeah,
But
gotta go.
anyway, we wish you the best because I would love to get some good news from one of us.
Agreed. Agreed.
But
Either one, I'll
yeah,
be happy. So,
so what is your goal for this next 2 weeks because we don't meet up again for another 2 weeks?
uh,
Just continue.
I want to finish my current work in pro. You know, my current whip.
Okay. All right. Okay, because
Um,
you said you were at 60, how many?
64 and a half. No, 54
Okay.
and a half. What
Mm-hmm.
the hell am I smoking? 54 and a half.
So 54,000. Okay, yeah. So you think you could do that in 2 weeks?
Easy.
Have it done? Yeah. Damn. Okay.
Easy.
I'll
Um,
check in
but
with you in two
mainly,
weeks and see if it's done.
yeah, because basically I'm not going. I'm only gonna go to 70-ish because my every book that I've written before
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
grows by 10,000 when I go back through and flesh
Yeah.
shit out.
Once you go through the edits. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
edits, which is supposed to
Yeah, I'm
take away,
shooting.
but my dumbass add shit. So
Yeah. Well, I'm shooting for like 70,000, so I feel like or 80. So I'm almost to the halfway point. I'm at the
yeah,
what I'm writing right now is the promise of the premise. So, which is right before the midpoint. So, so I'm gonna this book is going to be a little bit on the shorter side. Which I mean for YA I think is fine, so whatever. But yeah,
yeah, it's
I don't
perfect.
know if I maybe the end of April, maybe by May I'll be editing or
Yeah,
sooner. I don't know, we'll see. But
hopefully.
yeah, so I'll probably be querying this thing in like I don't know. Shit. Before the
You
holidays,
gotta
I know that. Fuck.
you gotta send it to me.
I know.
You
That's
gotta
I
get
know.
editing
Yeah.
it
So
so
I
you
got
can
to get
send it to me.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I am feeling like I'm feeling a little more confident in this story. I'm feeling like I
yeah,
finally got it. The only thing that I have to fix that I was thinking about today was the voice of because I have like 5 characters and I need to really, really give them voices. I feel like right now they kind of all read the same. There
mm,
might be a few times where they sound like themselves, but I really want to make sure that I get really into a real good voice for my characters. But other than
fair.
that, I know where everything's gonna go. I have a clear idea where everything's gonna go. I know the arc for my character, and I know how the book is gonna end. So I'm feeling very
Nice.
confident right now.
Hell yeah.
That could change.
Oh, of course, yes, in the
It
drop of
could
a hat,
change. I mean, if you're
for sure.
listening, you're probably like, "Yep." I mean, my suck. This story sucks. I hate it. Hopefully not though, but
Yeah,
but yeah, so that's my goal, guys. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. No, it's a little short. But again, if you're listening and you're getting ready to query and you have a query package, feel free to send it to us. We will read and critique on air, and of course we want to help you guys. But yeah, and then if you feel like it, maybe giving us a review or leaving us 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. That would be great because that would just sort of boost us. But other than that, thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. That's it for today's episode, friends. We hope you learned something new today. Please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube under Two Writers Walk Into a Bar podcast. Our YouTube episodes will upload on Thursdays, the day after the show airs, if you want to watch. And if you want your query letter and first 3 pages critiqued and read on air by us, send them to our email at twowritersinabar@gmail.com. Put query on air in the subject line. We will read them on a first come, first served basis. Remember, we are here to help, inspire, and celebrate. Two Writers Walk Into a Bar podcast is produced by Brava Media Group.